find any cave bears in there?
All the cave bears. And on that, we are in the Eyes of Terror. I forgot how to do my intro.
It's kind of earlier in the morning, and we normally
Do this late at night.
film later in the day. You'd think that wouldn't make a difference, but we're not wake up and get super motivated right away kind of people. So,
So I'm the Bunny Man,
and I'm Crazy Susie.
and we are in the Eyes of Terror.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. So it is the mad rush at the end of the month to get all of our stuff out.
Yep, yet again.
Yeah, but
It is New Year's Eve, actually,
Yeah.
and we're finishing up our Ho 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 series.
at least we're doing it, not 3 months from now. So
Pretty close, pretty close.
pretty close. So
This film is mature rated, so don't let your little kitties watch it before you do.
there's just a lot of blood in it.
From what I remember, it does have a lot of sexual innuendos, and it talks about cutting off parts, and it has parts and
Yeah.
a bag of parts.
A bag of parts. So it's a bag of parts.
Yeah, of appendages from certain sexual areas, and I don't think little boys want to see things that they're going to grow into in a bag. That might be scarring too.
You know what's other scarring? When your mother says that if you have premarital sex, she's going to cut off your appendages too. That's a little bit scarring, so don't do that.
Yeah.
So, talking about that, we are reviewing All Through the House 2000. I have 16, you have 15. What is up with this?
I'm always right.
Well, I always take it off Prime. The dates are always off of Prime.
I get mine off IMDb.
So, alright, so it's on Prime and Shudder. It's 88 minutes long, which is what?
Really, it's Shudder. You can't go on just Prime and find it. You have to have a Shudder account. It's through. We got ours through Prime, but you can get it independently just through Shudder's website.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's not through Prime. It's through Shudder.
Well, you usually have Prime and Shudder on there. So, oh, and let's do what are we drinking. So I just finished off a cup of coffee with sugar in it, and now I'm chasing it down with a holiday porter from Samuel Adams. I have been looking forward to this.
Holiday Porter from Samuel Adams. You kind of mumbled there at the end. I'm not sure everybody heard what you said.
It's a robust and full-bodied. It's ale, 12 fluid ounces, 5.8% alcohol by volume, and 40 IBUs. I still don't know what the IBUs. I need to look that up. So this comes in the holiday pack, which I believe is still on sale. So if you enjoy holiday type, festival type beers, go out and get this one. I actually enjoy pretty much all the beers in it. So this is the first time I'm drinking this one though. So it's not bad. I actually quite enjoy it. Although I popped a little bit of it last night, so I don't know if it sort of maybe flattened it a little bit. Because we were going to record last night and I didn't, and then I prematurely.
Oh, okay.
So it's not. I enjoy it. It's a good porter.
I'm having dark roast coffee with almond joy creamer in it, and when I finish that, I'm gonna have some cherry Dr. Pepper probably. I have some outings I have to go on, and I've taken my medication, so I cannot participate in any libations today.
But it definitely is a smooth-bodied porter. So let's continue on into the movie.
All Through the House. It is 88 minutes long. It's listed as a horror film. This comes from the director and writer, Todd Nunes. Is that correct?
Yes.
The cast, the full list can be found on imdb.com, but we're going to mention a few. Ashley Mary, sorry, I almost wanted to say Marie, that's not correct. Ashley Mary Nunes plays Rachel Kimmel. Jessica Cameron plays Sheila. Melinda Kearing plays Mrs. Garrett. Okay, Lito Velasco is the killer. Jason Ray Schumacher is Cody. Joanne Ray plays Beth. Kathy Garrett plays Abby.
That's enough for right
Kelsey Carlstead plays Chrissy. Jennifer Winger
now. Okay.
plays Mandy. And as I said, the rest can be found on imdb.com. And IMDb gives this movie a pretty high score. It's rated a 4.7 out of 10.
Actually, I think that's one of the highest score ones we've done this year, other than maybe Better Watch Out.
So, the storyline of this film is a deranged, masked Santa Slayer comes to town for some Yuletide terror. He leaves behind a bloody trail of mutated bodies as he hunts his way to the front steps of the town's most feared and notorious home.
We do apologize if there's any other stuff being picked up. It's just everything, just all the time. There's constant noise all the time.
Yeah, our neighbors are quite rude. Anyway.
And that's why the baby Luna barks and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's why Luna's having a difficult time. Because they're being loud right outside of our apartment, and she knows that's not nice. So I just have an issue with how they worded the storyline, because how can a house be feared and notorious? But anyway,
the only way that it could be, and I think I said this, the only way that a house can be feared or notorious is if it has, like, the house itself has a history.
but the house doesn't have a history.
No,
the family
the
dwelling
family-
inside of it has the history.
Yeah.
So that's what they tried to make it very ominous and very creepy. And in the wording, in doing so, it just makes it sound silly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's only one movie that I've ever seen that, you know, the house actually is the monster.
Right.
And that was an animated.
yeah, it was Kids Show. Anyway, that's my picking and showing. This film does have awards and nominations. We'll go over that at the end. And as usual, we would like to ask you to check us out on our Facebook, Twitter, and we do have a Redbubble with new illustrations on it if you would like to check that out. And we do Patreon. We're not begging for money, but if you guys would like to support our channel, we would appreciate that.
And we also are on Horror Amino, if you're on that. We do polls on both the Horror Amino and the Twitter.
You said doo-doo.
Do. So,
Yeah, we're currently doing a poll, so if you guys want to check that out and place your vote, we would appreciate it.
and that's up for 7 days of this, or 6 days of this, from this podcast release date. So,
Yep, and we will, continue to do polls related to our YouTube account. That way you guys can vote on what movies we view on our YouTube.
and that would be both on the Twitter and on the Horror Amino. Just if you
Yep.
case if you don't want to be on Twitter, you could be on the Horror Amino.
It'll be on both of those platforms.
And then do we also do it on Facebook?
Not on Facebook, no.
Because we don't have a huge following on Facebook.
No.
But once we grow that, we'll put it also on Facebook. So it's all up to where you guys are. That's where I'm looking at it as. And then we're also on Instagram. And all the links are in the description or the caption. So.
Okay, so this movie begins with kids taunting another kid to throw a rock at a stuffed Santa on a lawn.
So all I got was, it's cool to throw rocks at people's holiday decor. Yeah, it's awesome. You're a big man on campus now.
So he finally does throw the rock. The mask comes off of the stuffed figure. They all scream and run away.
Well, I mean, underneath was just sort of like, just like a sack face.
Yeah,
or,
like faceless.
Yeah, it was sort of creepy. I mean, I have to admit. And especially with kids with wild imaginations.
What looks like a hospital patient who escaped because they're wearing that kind of attire, puts on the Santa suit and mask. The little boy in the house sees Santa and lets him in the house. The mother wakes up to find the front door unlocked and the little boy asleep by the tree.
We all know that Santa knocks on the front door to get in.
He's a small child.
I get that.
So the mother's aggravated that the little boy has gotten into the gifts, but she's pleased to find that he's asleep. So she just leaves him there, locks the door.
And then does the, whatever, I'm going to go take a shower now.
Yeah. Who wakes up in the middle of the night to shower?
She wakes up in the, okay, so the child and the mother are like cuddling, and they're like spooning. And then the child gets up and she's just like, she goes back to, she just drifts off to sleep. And then all this happens downstairs. And then the kid is asleep on like the couch and she's like, oh, you little whippersnapper. And then she's like, well, whatever, I'm going to go take a shower now. Yeah. Because that's what I do.
Child is like 7, 8 years old. It's not like he's a baby and she...
No. The point is like, it's just like, whatever, I'm going to go take a shower now. So...
She dismisses such strange things like, oh, the door was unlocked. Oh, my kid opened gifts. Which, that to me wouldn't be a big deal. But... Anyway...
And then, so she's taking a shower and her boyfriend, baby...
We missed a part. Hold on. So, she is pleased that he is asleep and locks the front door and goes to get in the shower. But fails to see the stranger in the corner as she walks past in a Santa suit.
Well, it's like all the other like 80s horror slasher films. You know, honey, why are the lights blinking? What is that all over the floor? Is that blood? Oh, gross. I'm gonna go take a shower now. There's a killer in the house. I'm in the shower. Naked.
Yeah, because most people wear their swim trunks in the shower.
Yeah.
Her husband comes in. He tries...
Husband, boyfriend, we don't know what the relationship is. But
we assume it's her husband.
Yeah.
He tries to get a little frisky with her in the shower. But she sends him to the bedroom to prepare.
Yeah, okay, so this is not sexy at all. This whole scene is just not... I guess he has some issues.
No, he doesn't have issues. It's her preference that... How can I say this without being really
Vile.
absurd? It's her preference that when she sees him and that
he's happy.
His member is at attention.
That he's happy. And she doesn't have to prep. But anyway, this is not sexy. It's just awkward. And you're just like, I sort of feel dirty now. I feel like I need to take a shower.
Yeah. So he goes into the bedroom to prepare. And Santa goes into the bathroom and kills the woman.
Okay, so here's another thing that sort of irritated me. Who puts candles on top of the toilet seat?
Somebody that wants to get their bum burned?
I mean, there's tons of them. So it's like, so you have to blow out all these candles and move them, and as you're trying to hold from, and you're in the house of a kid and her husband, you don't think they're going to have to use the bathroom?
Right. Every mother knows that you're going to get halfway through your shower, and your young child's going to come in and be like, Mommy, I have to go to the bathroom.
I mean, I understand that you're trying to, but again, this is middle of the night, so she has to romanticize herself to take a shower?
The details are interesting.
So we get kill number 1. Santa stabs a shower chick with shears. And so basically, she forks her in the eyes with these shears.
Nope, not in the eyes.
Yeah, it was in the eyes.
Pruning shears in the breast.
No, it was first in the breast and then into the eyes.
Yep, first in the breast, then the eyes.
Yeah. And the And the blood
The kind
just...
of funny thing for me was that when he stabs her in an upward motion through the breast. And she's standing there holding her breast like...
You just
they were
stabbed?
perfect.
Yeah, they were okay.
She was just like, they were perfect. And he jerks it out, and then he stabs her in her eyes like, now you don't have to see.
Yeah. So I give this a 3 out of 5. It assists the mood, I guess, of the movie. And you get a really... Within the first couple of minutes, you get your first kill scene. Mm-hmm. So now you realize you're watching a slasher.
You're not doing a titty rating?
They were okay. I give them a 3 out of 5. They were perky. I don't know. I mean, they're developed.
What does that mean?
They were shapely. They were fine tits. I mean, I don't really know what to say about them. I mean, but you really didn't get to. There was just like
it really didn't show them until after they were being mutilated.
Yeah, because it was like quick shots. It's like, here's some breast, but here's some more breast, and then but it was like action breast. It was not like full on. You got to see them as a pair. Well, I'm turning into coupling. Okay, so
the killer then goes into the bedroom. The husband turns around to reveal his sensitive anatomy. And so Santa, he's thinking for some reason that his wife's being kinky and dressed up in this Santa suit. And Santa turns his shears around to where they're facing down and chops.
What you've never dressed up as a creepy, sexy Santa?
No, maybe I should.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
So, kill number 2. Weenie roast.
Yeah, but you didn't really see the kill though.
No, but you saw the weenie hit the floor.
Yeah, and he screamed.
Yeah, he's gonna bleed out.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So what do you give that rating?
I would give that a 4 out of 5, and I'm not even a person that has one of those members. That hurt me a little bit.
I think that's what they were going for with a lot of these. It was just the reactionary,
it's quite graphic.
Yeah.
How many times are you gonna say that?
Yeah.
So the next scene, the grandmother gets onto Rachel for putting a gift out for her mother.
But, this is not any ordinary grandma. This is a drunken, wheelchair-bound, cursing grandma.
That's my kind of grandma. It was cute when she was little, but now it's just strange.
I give the image that she smells like 3-month-old, like, cigarette.
Covered up with weird perfume.
Yeah.
And scotch.
Yeah. And maybe just a tish of wee in there. Yeah, just really odd smells, like Estee Lauder number 5 or whatever, because I
don't think she's that fancy of a grandma.
No, because we all know
she wears her house coat the whole time.
Yes, but we all know that like at a certain age, Estee Lauder gives out like cases of perfume to old people to just bathe in.
Barrels
of it.
With the spray.
Cakes, yeah. So they're told that they have to use up every ounce of this before they die. So that's why they're all old ladies smell the same.
Nice to know.
Yep.
So her neighbor, Mrs. Garrett, asks for her help to decorate her house for Christmas. She says she has to go shopping, Rachel says she has to go shopping, but she will come back. Another lady, along with her dog, Sugar Balls,
I hate that name,
finds its way to the slain Santa. So that is number 3. Lady in a house coat with her dog.
And I put, Santa doesn't like curlers. She had her hair curled. Mm-hmm. I give it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, it was pretty lackluster. Miss Garrett starts to crack a little. She has a conversation with the Santa figure in her house. She says, "You're all alike. Don't think I forgot what you've done to me. I was just a child, and you passed me around to all your men like I wasn't even human."
Yeah, we realize that Miss Garrett's a little. Yeah.
She had a pretty scarring childhood, and she's having some problems. She wakes up crying.
Just some problems.
And goes to a female statue wearing a daughter necklace and says, "Don't you worry, darling." Rachel meets up with her friends. They surprise her with her ex being there. She does not seem to be happy about this. Another couple gets a little kinky. She ties him to the bed. The safe word is
Jingle bells? Jingle balls? Something like that.
jingle balls.
Yeah. I knew it was something like trying to be festive. Okay, so, again, it's just awkward.
She tells him she's going to go get his surprise. She goes to the kitchen and she gets a big cucumber from the fridge.
Ooh. She's gonna make a salad. That's his big surprise. She's gonna make a salad.
And she gets several other things. I think it was peanut butter, Cool Whip,
Those things don't go together, though.
and something else.
That's gonna be a weird.
She happens to see
That's
a
a
pair
weird
of
salad.
hedge clippers on the counter. When she turns around to pull something else out of the fridge, they're gone. And Santa says, he doesn't really, but I'm sure he's thinking this, "That's just too much," and shoves his hedge clippers through her head. What kill around?
You added kills, so 4.
I didn't add kills. That's how many he killed.
Yeah, I didn't.
He killed the lady in the curlers.
Yeah, that was. But you added the weenie roast. Because I didn't count that. So
You didn't
we're-
count cutting a dude's member off as killing him. He's gonna
because
bleed out.
because of the but we didn't see the kill.
You saw it hit the floor.
Yes, but we could assume that. But we didn't see him die or bleed from the mouth.
You're gonna assume he's gonna bleed to death.
Okay, so we're on 4.
So number 4. Santa's little helper gets hedge clippers to the head.
Yep.
Meanwhile, her boy toy.
What did you give that then?
I didn't read it.
I give it a 2 out of 5. A lot of these I just gave a 2 out of 5 to be honest. It was just another meh kill.
Yeah.
And again, I felt like this sort of scene was just sort of added in there just for the kill. Like it was just inserted. Like we don't have enough blood in this movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, her boy toy is still tied up to the bed. He sends in a motion-activated teddy bear on a bike.
This really reminds me of Billy from Saw a little bit. Do you want to play a game?
Then he enters to steal the show. He has a strange fascination for cutting off men's...
Yule logs.
Okay.
Because that's what I said. Santa takes away his Yule log.
So number 5.
Yule log is now gone.
Yeah, the guy tied to the bed. And he tried very hard to use the safe word, but it didn't work.
Yeah, because again, he thought that maybe that was his surprise that she was going to, grow a couple more feet and then put on this creepy Santa mask.
Yeah, that wasn't sexy at all.
No.
And, scare the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Make him poo his pants, but nope. Rachel has a very awkward conversation with her ex. She is so aggravated that they did this, so she got them to go with her to decorate Mrs. Garrett's house. Her friends. She's aggravated with her girlfriends that they invited her ex to their little shopping event, that she has them go with her to decorate Mrs. Garrett's house. They find out some strange things at Mrs. Garrett's house. Windows are screwed shut. Many stories about how her daughter became missing. Is she really gone? All the gifts under the tree are addressed to her daughter, Jamie.
But you missed. So we also missed that Miss Garrett enjoys having dinner with the mannequins. And she continues her freak out with the Santa Claus that she's eating across from.
Yeah, the mannequins that are dressed up. She has dinner with them. She sleeps in the same bed as the Santa mannequin. I mean, she has developed this whole family persona with these mannequins.
Yeah, it's... And she has a lot of them.
Yeah. The next couple to meet Santa is a female couple who find out...
I feel like we missed something.
What kind of bounces back and forth?
Yeah.
So number 6 and 7 of the kills is a female couple. The first one is in the shower. No, he gets the first one on the bed.
Mm-hmm. No, I had this one labeled as Santa knows where you sleep. Santa drags one of the girls under the bed.
Okay.
So.
And the other one's getting out of the shower.
Yeah, and I mean, her bathroom was like Christmas just everywhere.
Yeah, it had a sick in the bathroom.
I mean, just a Christmas sick. I mean, there was just Christmas, everything you could think of Christmas related, Santas and snowmen. It's everywhere in this bathroom. So, although I did give this one a titty rating. The Girl in the Shower, I gave them a 4 out of 5. They're perky, well-rounded, and nicely toned.
Okay. Sounds like you're rating a wine or something.
It's a full-bodied breast.
Okay, then.
Okay. The other girl is in an overly Christmassy shower with Santa curtains, garland on the shower head, which really annoys me. Like, that just sort of annoyed me. That can't be hygienic. And a Santa pattern top. She sees Santa come for her and closes the door, but that door doesn't stop.
She's leaning up against the door,
Yeah.
and he stabs the shears.
Yeah, you know
Through
what?
the door.
So if you're ever being chased by a deranged killer, don't be like, I just closed the door. Whew, I'm just going to relax against the door. Get away from the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that doesn't stop the shears of Santa, and they go through her abdomen, and then to the back of her head and out of her mouth. And then Santa opens the door a little bit and finds a nice pink vibrator, surprisingly not Christmas related, and puts that in his bag.
Bag of goodies.
Yes. And then now we are back at Miss Garrett's. Rachel finds a picture of a group of nurses and finds out, because we find out that Rachel no longer...
We do need to back up a little bit. I think I have forgotten some details. Rachel and her friends go to Mrs. Garrett's house, and they talk to her about what she wants done.
Okay, so I actually have it written down. So the girls go back to Miss Garrett's house of crazy. She gives them directions on what to decorate and where the door is to the attic. They go to Jamie's room and talk about her for a bit, such as like why she was like closed off and blah blah blah. Because we find out that
Mrs. Garrett and Rachel do.
Yeah, we find out that Jamie is Mrs. Garrett's daughter, but has gone missing or whatever. But she's closed them off from everybody else, and we also find out that we find out from like the get-go that Rachel's mother's been missing for years.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what happened to sort of either one of them. And at the beginning of the story, we do see that there are blue lights, like police lights, and Miss Garrett's talking to some cops about something. So, I mean, that's like, we forgot that one part. But,
the thing that I find very strange about this whole scenario is Mrs. Garrett's house looked like Christmas I had a giant sick and a giant runny poo all over her house.
Why do we have to talk about poo?
I mean, Christmas is everywhere in her house. Why does she need more decorations?
Yeah.
She needs people to come over and help her decorate because she's not decorated. Hello, it looks like she had a team of decorators come in there and decorate every inch of her house. Every inch of her house is covered in Christmas stuff.
And then the girls, as Miss Garrett leaves to go somewhere, and
She says it's a date, but it's not a romantic date. Because she gave up men years ago.
Yeah. The girls start looking around the house and notice that the windows are screwed shut, and that's when they realize all the presents are addressed to Jamie.
Yeah.
And
Okay, I think we're caught up now.
and she does mention that there was a flashback to when Jamie was a kid, and now how she was a beacon of love, hope, and support. So.
How would they know that? Jamie was always isolated.
No. I think that she was saying that Rachel was a beacon of love, hope, and support. Because she's been sort of like taking. I guess every time she comes like home, she checks on Miss Garrett. They have some sort of weird relationship that's not explored. Okay, so we're back now past this after Santa kills the.
So we're back to Rachel and the girls being at Mrs. Garrett's.
Yeah, and we find a picture of some nurses and finds out Miss Garrett knew Rachel's mother, like I said before, who has gone missing, and she calls her grandmother for answers, which she doesn't, and the grandma doesn't like in her drunken stupor. Rachel and the other girls roam the house and find Miss Garrett's room. In the bed is a Santa mannequin that is undressed, and then they noticed two doors, which
He's not just undressed. He's undressed and he's covered in lipstick marks.
Yeah. So it's like a rose for Emily, but not with dead things. Okay. And then they noticed two doors, one with a bolt and the other one like locked. So. And then we get to kill number, I don't know what number we are on. And then Santa threw Granny off of a cliff. I give this a 4 out of 5. It's just funny.
She was like, ah!
Yeah. She's like, and then Santa also doesn't like cats. So we find that out.
Rachel goes over to kind of brush things over with her grandmother and tries to call her, but there's no answer. So she decides to go over. She leaves her friends at Mrs. Garrett's house. She finds a box of letters on the floor. Sarah returns. Sorry, we forgot to mention that Sarah decided to go to the store because she
needed to get some booze. She needed to get some wine. I'm sorry, it's not booze, it's wine.
Even though Mrs. Garrett told all the girls that they needed to try her eggnog. Because
special eggnog.
She makes it more special than anybody else does. Anyway.
I'm going to go into a whole rant about eggnog at the end of this, so just prepare.
Sarah returns from the store and sees Santa peeking from around the house.
Well, but, so, a lot of the girls are just forgettable in this, to be honest. So one of the girls started noticing, the one that was left there, started noticing odd locks and things around the house. You know, like padlock at the top of the door.
The front door,
the front door, and then Rachel goes to Grandma's house and finds a shoebox full of letters.
Already said that.
Yeah. And then Rachel finds out her mother was having an affair with Miss Garrett's husband.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. And the the girl that is left at Miss Garrett's, where Santa makes his rounds. Santa knows where you will be. Kill number 6, 8, 10, 100.
Number 9 is Sarah.
Yeah. You got blood all over my dress.
No. Sarah is the one that went to the liquor store and comes back. She follows him around the corner of the house, and then she hits him a couple of times with a stick and runs.
Oh, yeah. And then Gia, which I finally realized was her name.
Yeah, the friend left in the house, Gia.
Gia was wearing the red sparkly dress that was on the mannequin because she had to have a selfie of it because, vanity.
She goes out to see Sarah's car and doesn't see her, so she goes back inside, finds the cheap chilled wine, says, "Thanks, Sarah, I'm going to drink this by myself."
Yeah.
But still walks through the house looking for her, but finds Santa instead. She tries to sneak out of a window, but he finds her. She sneaks away. He finally corners her in the garage.
Then we get into, you got blood all over my dress.
So number 10 is Gia.
Again, this is like a 2 out of 5. It's just a meh kill. You're just like, I'm glad.
You're glad he finally kills her because she's evaded death many times. And you're like, just get it over with. Rachel reads the letters and finds out her mother had an affair with Mrs. Garrett's husband.
And then Rachel...
I'm reading things out of order.
Yeah.
Rachel goes back to Mrs. Garrett's house to look for her friends. She hears a phone. She finds it, Gia's cell phone, upstairs. She never leaves it alone with the key they were looking for. Strange. Cody calls her to tell her Mr. Garrett was sent to prison 15 years ago. Rachel says there was a cop outside of Mrs. Garrett's house earlier talking to her. She uses the key to open the door. She goes inside and finds Mrs. Garrett. Mrs. Garrett meets her down there and tells her the true story. She says Jamie was born a boy. She brought her home and fixed the little problem. The mutilation was blamed on her husband, and he went to jail, and Jamie to a mental hospital. She knocks out due to something special in the eggnog. When she wakes, she is dressed in a skimpy costume, and she's encaged also. She wakes up to Cody freeing her. Jamie injures his leg, so Rachel... No, not Jamie. Wrong. Cody. Cody injures his leg, so Rachel hides him in the timeout room and runs away to lead Jamie away. She runs back to the house, and Jamie comes back to the house as well. Mother gets Jamie to lock Rachel in timeout, and Cody is already tied up. Mrs. Garrett tells Rachel she is going to take Jamie into the living room and end her misery. She was meant to be her daughter. Her jerk of a husband gave her to someone else. So the mommy dearest, she stabs Cody with pruning shears. And the pleasure she gets from this is very strange. It just shows you that this whole family is just very...
Odd. Odd's a word.
She takes Jamie into the living room and tries to kill him. Rachel gets free and helps Jamie. They both kill the mother and says, let's bury her in the back. Let's bury her out back.
Because she buried the mother out back in her garden.
Right.
And
Mrs. Garrett said she buried Rachel's mother out back, so Rachel's telling Jamie, let's bury her out back. The scene ends with the Santa mask on the lawn.
Yeah. So there's like a little few things here and there that you sort of missed, and I'm just so we found out that the reason. I mean, obviously, we find out the reason why Jamie's collecting members in his. I'm just gonna say it, bag of dicks, is because he doesn't have one. So he's trying to find and the idea is that
His mother's going to
mother was going to make him whole again, but he had to choose which one he wanted to be sewn back on. And then we also find out that after the eggnog was poisoned with something to knock out the girls, in theory. So, and then Miss Garrett dressed the mannequin, the daughter mannequin, up in Jamie's clothes that she changed out, and she realized this lady's a little bit nuts.
A little bit.
Yeah, just odd. So yeah, so I don't like eggnog. Never have, never will. And this makes me not want to drink eggnog ever again. Especially when somebody says it's special eggnog.
Yep, not gonna happen.
I just find eggnog vile, and I don't understand how it's a thing.
It's a really thick, spicy milk.
Yeah, and then of course people drink it like warm and stuff, and I can't handle milk in general. I don't like milk, so and I don't. It's like egg whites and milk together.
No, it's yolk.
Whatever, and I can't do it. Just the color is just revolting to me.
It's like custard, but not cooked.
Yeah.
The trivia for this film, if my computer will cooperate. The majority of this film was shot in 7 days. Loosely based on the short called Here Comes Santa, also featured Ashley Marie Nunes and Melinda Curing. Writer-director Todd Nunes purchased Christmas decorations from flea markets and garage sales to use in this movie. Well, I imagine so. He needed a lot. It won Best Slasher and Best Editing at the Rest in Peace Film Festival on Halloween night 2015. Todd Nunes won Best Director at the Hardcore Horror Film Festival. Todd Nunes' mother handled craft services on this film. All the makeup effects were done practically.
They were practical effects.
The bulk of this film was shot in July. The role of Mrs. Garrett was specifically written for Melinda Curing to play. Lito Velasco had to lose weight for this role as the killer. You know, sometimes we have to make sacrifices for things that we want to do. Such is life. What is your total rating for this film? I'm pretty sure I wrote it down at the end and I done passed it.
Honestly, I actually gave it a 4 out of 5. I think it's worth a watch. I mean, it's definitely a holiday slasher with some interesting plot twists and a good set of derangement throughout. The character, the one of the negative things is that the characters are pretty forgettable.
Yeah, character development wasn't all that great.
They were really just there to be killed. So, which I'm fine with. And I just they drag certain things out, like with the girls and stuff like that. That was just really annoying. But I like that none of the girls were like, "Let's get the heck out of here," because I mean that's one thing that sort of annoyed me. It was like, "Oh, so you walk into a house full of mannequins and stuff like that, and you're like, I'm just here to help, to put up her decorations." You know, not at any
They
point.
walk into her house. They allow her to leave them there. They don't think anything weird of it. They're there to decorate her house. Her house is slap full of decorations.
But it's not just that. But I mean, it's just full of mannequins.
None of them think, this may be a waste of my time. Maybe I should leave.
And I mean, so it's just like little things like that. And then it's like, let's go down into the basement. Let's go into this weird room. Let's not get out of here at any point.
Yeah. Well, she has had the House of Curiosity their entire life, with her daughter disappearing and all the stories behind it and all that.
I can understand that, but it's just, it just seems like in horror movies nobody has red flag. Like, I probably shouldn't be in here.
Yeah. I give it a 4.5 also, just for the character development could have been a bit better, and some people are going to find the dismemberment in this film to be a bit much.
But I don't really feel like it was really, but it didn't really focus on it as much as it could have. It was a lot of it. They focused on the first one to get the feeling that this is what this is, and then the rest of it was just sort of like, and it's sort of like you hear it, but you don't see anything. You know what I'm trying to say?
You see it hit the floor.
Well, you see the first one, but you don't see the... After they establish that's what he's doing, and the other ones, your mind makes up the rest. It's sort of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original mind... there is no blood in that movie, but our minds want there to be blood in that movie, so we fill it in, because we were shown like one scene or whatever.
Right.
So... that's the only thing. Is like they definitely hit on the emotional aspect of that, but like I said, a lot of these characters were just there, and some scenes just felt like they were just put in there just to have filler of kills, which is fine because it's a slasher film. So, and the one thing I did like about it that most people don't like is that there was no facial reveal of Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all, when they took the mask off, it was all blurred at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just on Rachel.
It just showed the outline, kind of the outline of his hairline.
Mm-hmm. And then you see maybe he grew a mustache or what, like something dark, but you never saw like 100% what the killer looks like without.
You just saw kind of greasy black hair.
Mm-hmm. And it does sort of set it up for a sequel if they would choose. Weirdly, it does. I don't know. I don't know how they would do a sequel, but some people are going to be disappointed that there's no face reveal at the end of it. But again, I sort of like that, so I'm just strange like that.
Well, it needs to keep some mystery.
Yeah. And some of the acting is just sort of blah. Some of the lines are sort of stupid, but for a holiday slasher film, it's fine. So that's the end of this review. Unless you want to add some stuff.
I think that's all.
Okay.
We'll scare you later.
Bye.